Okay, to summarize what we've learned in this module, I want to wrap things up with the debtor, the saver, and the wealth creator. So which one of these do you want to be? First of all, we have our debtor. The debtor actually earns money, but just always borrows money. Never really gets above that zero line. They actually live below the zero line. They borrow, they pay back, they borrow, they pay back. They never really get ahead. All right. Now, the saver actually saves and then spends. They save and then they spend. They actually live at the zero line, not really above the zero line, because as soon as they get above the zero line, they spend the money and end up back at the zero line. So they're at this zero line, never truly actually getting ahead either. Now, finally, we have what we call the wealth creator. Now, the wealth creator actually saves money and allows that money to earn uninterrupted compounding interest. My favorite words in the English language, uninterrupted compounding interest. Their money is constantly growing and compounding, and then they are using that money as collateral to borrow somebody else's money. Now, if they want, they can actually pay back those loans, right? But their money is still compounding interest. Or we also learned in this module that you can borrow somebody else's money and never pay them back until you die. Insurance companies will let you borrow money using your money as collateral and not have to pay them back until you die. Now think about that for a minute, because the money that you would have been paying towards paying back these loans could be earning interest for you. So you could create an even bigger compounding interest chart here by putting more and more money towards compounding interest, borrow somebody else's money, and not even have to pay them back until you die. That creates this big spread between what you owe and what you're earning on your money. Now, I actually had a client once that had this chart right here was written on their shower wall in the fog or the steam from the shower. So a husband and wife had gone through this course and they loved this concept of the debtor, the saver, and the wealth creator. In fact, myself as well, if I had any tattoos, which I don't, but this is the tattoo that I would get right here, just to remind me of how important it is to be a wealth creator. I'm just joking about the tattoo. But really, I've had clients that have actually drawn this on their shower walls in the steam and the fog of the shower or whatever. But anyway, the point is, this is crucial. Don't forget this picture. Have this picture just branded into your brain that you want to be a wealth creator. You want your money to grow uninterrupted compounding, and you want to use somebody else's money at a lower rate. All right. Now, here's another way of looking at it using our little tank analogy. The spender just gets lifetime capital pension, money just coming through their hands, right? They're just using their monthly income that just comes through their inflow here and out, the outflow. That's the spender. The spender spends 100% of their income and focuses only on today. There's no tanks, right? There's no future savings here. It's just a straight pass-through flow of money here, right? There's no collateral opportunities. You have no assets. There's nothing here to use as collateral to borrow against, right? It's just nothing, no assets. That's the spender. Now, the only option for a spender is to borrow money on credit, right? So they're going to borrow the money, and the only way they can pay back those borrowed funds is through future income. Right? They have to actually make money because there's no other tanks. There's no other, tanks to use as collateral. There's no other assets. It's just future income, part of your future or part of your cash flow, this red right here, has to be used to pay back those loans plus all the interest on those loans, right? Now the saver, remember, lives at the zero line. Their money is coming through their income. It's passing through. They are not filling up these tanks with any of their money. That money is passing through, but they're putting a little bit of money for all these major capital purchases. So they say, oh, we need a little bit of money in this account in case we ever need new tires for the car, in case our car breaks down. Maybe we need a new roof someday. So we're going to save a little in here, all right, for these future expenses coming up. And then we're going to, oops, let me move this over here. We're going to pay cash to avoid debt. So we're just going to drain this little account. It never really earns much interest, right? It's just going to be for, future expenses. And we're just going to save and then spend, save and then spend. And then the key to this is that they're going to pay cash from their savings, but they're never going to replenish it with the interest that they could have earned. So they're not putting back the money that they could have earned if they didn't drain this savings account. They're just going to save, spend, right? Save, spend, save, spend. They're never going to put the money back plus interest like we saw before, right? Which is going to be our wealth creator. Now, our wealth creator is going to save money into an account that hopefully earns at least 6 to 8% and is still safe, right? We're going to build up this asset, which we could then use as collateral. And we could also use this for the future because these are our future lifestyle tanks, right? We have our future investments and savings for when we no longer have this income coming in. Now we're going to diversify, maybe have a few different options in both of these accounts. We don't have to have all of our money in one investment product. We could have several different investment products for some sort of diversification if we wanted to, depending on whether you want it to be safe or risky or whatever the case may be. And then we're going to use this money as collateral. Notice that we did not spend it. Notice that this green tank did not go down. We did not spend that money, right? We just used it as collateral and we borrowed somebody else's money, preferably at a lower rate, which we could then pay back if we wanted to, or in some cases, like in the life insurance example, we could actually allow that money to just keep compounding at 5%, and we could take all the money that we would have put towards paying that back, and we could put all the money towards this account to build that account up even faster. So just some things to keep in mind, just a summary of the debtor, the saver, and the wealth creator. In the past, maybe you always thought you wanted to be a saver, but the reality of it is that the saver and the debtor, neither one of them really ever get beyond the zero line. So you don't want to be below the zero line. You don't want to be at the zero line. You want to be above the zero line, and that is the wealth creator. So hopefully you've gotten a lot out of this module. Hopefully it's changed the way you think about money and paying for these major capital purchases. So let's move on to the next one.